She has always been one of the most dedicated members of the royal family, if not the most. It's not uncommon to see her take on 4 or 5 engagements in a single day. As King Charles III's younger sister, Princess and is known for her quiet dedication, disciplined work ethic, and pragmatic approach to her royal duties, often staying in the background while others take the spotlight. The pressures on younger members of the royal family are sometimes hard to handle, but surprisingly, things are about to shift. Join us as we explore how Princess Anne has finally decided to break her silence, surprising everyone. Before we dive into the princess's recent, unexpected revelations, let's go back to the beginning. Born on August 15, 1950, at Clarence House, and entered a life filled with privilege but also responsibility. As the second child and only daughter of Princess Elizabeth, Duchess of Edinburgh, soon to become Queen Elizabeth II, and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, her arrival was celebrated with a 21-gun salute in Hyde Park. From the start, however, her path was set to diverge from that of her older brother, Charles. Growing up, Anne's childhood differed greatly even within her own family. When her mother ascended to the throne in 1952, following the death of King George VI, the demands on Queen Elizabeth increased, and Anne, along with her brothers Charles, Andrew, and Edward, was mainly raised by their governess, Catherine Peebles. Despite Peebles' presence, Anne often felt isolated, being the only girl in a family where Charles was prepared for the ultimate role, future king, and understood early on that she would never be the center of attention like Charles. While he was groomed for a future of leadership, she was trained to perform secondary, discreet, but essential duties. Rather than the carefree childhood often imagined for a princess, Anne's days were structured, strict, and geared towards preparing her for a supportive role. Her mother's rise to the throne when Anne was just 2 years old immediately shifted the family dynamic. The world's eyes were on young Charles, the heir, while Anne was steered toward a future of duties without the intense public scrutiny reserved for her brother, and accepted her position without fuss, a role of responsibility but without the crown. As the second-born, she knew she would never be queen, a reality she embraced calmly without ever questioning it. With the birth of Charles's sons, her place in the line of succession moved further back, but rather than resenting this, she took pride in being able to contribute to the royal family in her own way. It was as if she silently relinquished any claim to the throne, choosing to forge her own path. Or so she thought, unaware that an unexpected turning point was approaching. But we'll get to that soon. One of the most telling aspects of Anne's personality is her love for horses. In the equestrian world, she found her true passion, and perhaps even a refuge. As she grew up, Anne was encouraged to pursue her interests, naturally gravitating toward horses. While the public saw Princess Anne, she found solace in the stables, where she was simply Anne. Her accomplishments in equestrian sports are impressive. At just 21, she won the European Eventing Championship, becoming a celebrated figure in the sporting world. She was even named BBC Sports Personality of the Year in 1971, a title that highlighted her dedication and talent, and competed with the British eventing team for over 5 years, even participating in the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. Although she suffered a concussion during one event, she displayed her renowned determination by remounting and completing the course, despite having no recollection of the jumps. In 1986, she became president of the International Equestrian Federation, cementing her influence in the equestrian world. Even after her competitive years, she remained a prominent figure in the sport, using her position to promote equestrian disciplines and support athletes. Since 1971, she has also been a patron of the Riding for the Disabled Association, a role she continues to cherish. Today, Princess Anne is viewed as one of the most respected and dependable members of the royal family. But why is she often called one of the busiest, hardest-working royals? Since she was 18, Princess Anne has embodied an indefatigable work ethic, embracing numerous royal duties with unwavering commitment. Her first engagement in public service came soon after finishing secondary school, when she opened an educational and training center in Shropshire in 1969. From that moment on, she embarked on a path of responsibility, representing the royal family both in the UK and abroad. Over the decades, Anne has traveled to countless countries, including Norway, Jamaica, Australia, and even Russia, making her one of the most well-traveled members of the royal family. Her first international engagement was a state visit to Austria with her parents, followed by a tour of Australia in 1970. This marked the beginning of a career of global representation, often acting as the UK's ambassador to strengthen relationships and goodwill worldwide. One of her most significant visits occurred in 1990 when she became the first British royal to visit the Soviet Union, at the invitation of President Mikhail Gorbachev, during a time of significant political change. She returned to Russia in 2016, this time to commemorate the 75th anniversary of Operation Dervish, underscoring her commitment to military and historical remembrance. Anne's dedication goes far beyond state visits. Since 1970, she has been actively involved with the charity Save the Children, initially as president and later as patron. She has visited numerous projects around the world, from Bangladesh to South Africa and Mozambique, showing a personal commitment to the organization's mission. Her efforts were recognized in 1990 when she was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by Kenneth Kaunda, then president of Zambia. Over the years, and has been involved in more than 200 associations and organizations, covering a wide range of causes. Her passion for healthcare is evident through her patronage of organizations such as St. John Ambulance, where she serves as chief commandant. She also supports the Royal College of Midwives, the Royal College of Emergency Medicine, and the Magpie Air Ambulance Service, demonstrating a keen interest in medical and emergency services. Anne's commitment to education and professional development is also apparent throughout her life. Since 1981, she has been Chancellor of the University of London, a role she took on after the Queen Mother stepped down. In 2011, she also became Chancellor of the University of Edinburgh, succeeding her father. Through these positions, she champions higher education and actively participates in academic ceremonies and initiatives. The royal duties of princess and don't stop there. In 2007, she was appointed Grand Master of the Royal Victorian Order, following in her grandmother's footsteps. She also took on roles previously held by her father, such as the presidency of the Royal Society of Arts and the role of Master of the Corporation of Trinity House, showcasing her commitment to leadership within British institutions. Despite the diversity of her official duties, what distinguishes and is her ability to maintain a consistently busy schedule. In 2017, it was reported that she carried out the highest number of engagements among all royals, including the Queen. This title of the most diligent royal is one she has earned through her impressive number of public appearances, events, and patronages. Her straightforward approach to duty, captured by her famous phrase, "Keep me busy, I'm here to work," reflects her philosophy of service. Anne's remarkable sense of duty was also evident during the events surrounding Queen Elizabeth II's death in 2022, and became the first woman to take part in a vigil of the princes, standing guard by her mother's coffin at St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, and later at Westminster Hall. This poignant act of respect and duty underscored Anne's role as a pillar within the royal family, ready to assume even the most solemn responsibilities. Her dedication to charitable work continues with organizations like Mercy Ships, which operates hospital ships providing medical care in developing countries, and WISE, which encourages women to pursue careers in science, engineering, and construction. Anne's patronages reflect her wide range of interests and her desire to uplift communities and sectors throughout her career, and has maintained an unpretentious image, while her sharp mind and outspoken nature earned her the nickname Her Royal Rudeness in her youth. These traits also helped her build a reputation for sincerity and reliability. Unlike other royals, she chose not to give her children titles, even in her 70s, and shows no signs of slowing down. In 2023, she succeeded the Duke of Kent as president of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, adding another title to her long list of responsibilities. This role involves preserving the memory of those who died in conflicts, in keeping with her long-standing support for military organizations. Though they grew up on different paths within the royal family, Princess and King Charles III have shared a close, playful, and supportive bond that has stood the test of time. With only 21 months between them, the siblings spent much of their childhood together, navigating the challenges of royal life as their parents were often occupied with official duties. From their early years at Buckingham Palace to their respective passions and responsibilities in adulthood, Charles and Anne's relationship has always been marked by camaraderie and mutual support. Their closeness was evident from a young age. As toddlers at Buckingham Palace following their mother's coronation, Charles and Anne were each other's primary playmates in a royal household where their parents frequently traveled for engagements. The two siblings learned to rely on one another. This early bond created a foundation that has remained strong, even as they followed different paths within the royal family. While Charles, as the heir apparent, was groomed for his future role as king, and found her place as one of the most hardworking and dedicated members of the family, known for her extensive charitable work and public engagements. Despite their distinct roles, their shared experiences of a royal upbringing brought them closer. In recent years, the public has gotten a glimpse of their playful dynamic during the celebrations of King Charles's coronation. A touching moment was captured on camera, highlighting their bond when Princess Anne approached her brother and greeted him cheerfully with the affectionate nickname Old Boy. This simple exchange was a comforting reminder of their enduring connection and the playful spirit they've maintained over the years. Despite their serious royal duties, Charles and Anne have never hesitated to unwind and enjoy each other's company, whether at the Braemar Games or sharing laughs at Buckingham Palace. They've shown that, even amid the pressures of royal life, there's always room for a bit of fun. Their shared love for equestrian activities has also played a significant role in strengthening their bond. Charles and Anne inherited their passion for horses from their mother, Queen Elizabeth II, who was an avid equestrian. The sibling duo often rode together in their youth, sharing their mutual love for this activity. Even in adulthood, they were seen attending polo matches together, reflecting their mutual appreciation for equestrian sports. Beyond sports, Charles and Anne share a love for gardening. During their childhood, they spent time together tending to a small vegetable patch at Buckingham Palace. Charles fondly remembers how he and Anne tried to grow tomatoes with the help of Mr. Nutbeam, the palace's chief gardener. The siblings delighted in the simple joys of planting and cultivating their small garden, a pastime that followed them into adulthood. Today, Charles is known for his passion for gardening, particularly at his residence, Highgrove House, where he developed the famous Highgrove Gardens. His enthusiasm even led him to design a garden for the RHS Chelsea Flower Show in 2001. Meanwhile, Anne, though not as publicly involved in gardening projects, continues to enjoy spending time outdoors and connecting with nature. Their common interests have provided them with shared ground, fostering moments of togetherness outside their public responsibilities. Despite their busy schedules, Charles and Anne have always found time to see each other, a testament to the strength of their relationship over the years, and has been an unwavering support to her brother, particularly during challenging times. Following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, and played a significant role in the ceremonies and traditions marking the period of transition. She stood by Charles during the procession for their late mother, symbolizing her steadfast support for her brother as he assumed his new role as king at the coronation, and received the prestigious title of Gold Stick in Waiting, a historical position that signifies her role as a bodyguard responsible for the monarch's safety. She also served as Charles's personal aide, riding on horseback behind him and Queen Camilla, clearly showing her commitment to her brother and his new role. Their bond rests not only on shared interests and responsibilities, but also on their ability to find moments of lightness and joy. Over the years, they have often been seen sharing laughter at public events, whether during official engagements or family gatherings. A particularly memorable moment occurred during the late Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, where Charles and Anne were seen joking and enjoying each other's company. Charles's cancer diagnosis and its impact on Anne. Anne's loyalty to Charles was highlighted when he faced a health concern in 2024. In announcing his cancer diagnosis earlier in the year, the world was taken by surprise when Buckingham Palace issued a statement confirming that King Charles had been diagnosed with cancer. The announcement came after he underwent a routine procedure to treat benign prostatic hyperplasia. During this treatment, doctors discovered a distinct health issue, leading to further tests that revealed the presence of a form of cancer. Although the palace clarified that it was not prostate cancer, it did not disclose further details about the specific type of cancer the king has. Despite the concern that spread across the nation and the world, Charles remained calm, expressing his gratitude for his medical team's swift intervention and the tremendous support he received. His doctors began a series of regular treatments, advising him to temporarily step back from his public duties. While the king's spirit remained unshaken, it was clear that his health required careful management, which inevitably impacted his royal responsibilities. As Charles began his treatment and took a step back, the question arose. Who would take on the king's many responsibilities during this time? This is where Princess Anne, Charles's younger sister, stepped forward. Known for her unwavering work ethic and dedication to royal duties, Anne quietly took on many responsibilities that would otherwise have fallen to Charles. She ensured there was no void, no gap in royal presence, and that the public did not feel the absence of their king. From assisting with state functions to representing the royal family at international events, and became the steady hand guiding through a potentially troubling period. Though Anne was more than ready to take the lead, this period also revealed some underlying tensions within the family. Reports began to surface about a small, but significant rift between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla. The issue wasn't so much about who would handle the king's duties, but rather how everything was managed. Camilla, as queen, insisted that Charles maintain certain engagements, even if this meant he could only handle a limited number of commitments. Her intent was clear: to ensure that the public saw their king as strong and resilient, even in the face of illness. But this approach put pressure on Charles to make public appearances when he might have needed more rest. For Princess Anne, this approach was simply impractical and at times even a bit reckless. She believed Charles should focus solely on his recovery and that the family should step up to cover his responsibilities without any expectation that he would push himself beyond his limits. Anne's views were shaped not only by concern for her brother, but also by her sense of duty. As we've mentioned, she has always been known as the hardest working member of the royal family, often taking on commitments without complaint. For her, the solution seemed obvious. She would carry the extra burden, allowing Charles to take all the time he needed to recover. Tension between Anne and Camilla appeared to be building behind the scenes. While Anne took on more royal engagements than ever, Camilla's approach to handling Charles's illness seemed to some as though she wasn't fully stepping into her new role as queen, during a time when a united front would have been beneficial. The differing approaches of Anne and Camilla became apparent. According to close sources, Anne had a strong opinion that, if Camilla truly wished to support Charles, she should take on more of his public duties herself instead of asking him to keep up his schedule despite his health issues. And, never one to shy away from speaking her mind, privately expressed her frustrations. She questioned why Camilla had chosen to continue with what seemed like a business-as-usual approach. Anne's position was straightforward. The king's health had to come first, and if that meant he had to step back completely, so be it. But Camilla saw things differently. She felt that if Charles withdrew entirely from public life, even for a short period, it would cause concern and uncertainty among the public. For Camilla, the public needed to see stability and continuity in the monarchy, which included seeing their king, even if only occasionally. Ultimately, it was Anne who bore the brunt of this extra work. Although she remained diplomatic and avoided showing tension in public, those close to her knew she was under immense pressure. Anne's unflagging commitment meant she often traveled across the country to attend events, even taking on responsibilities beyond her usual role. She did this not for recognition, but because she believed it was her duty to support her brother and keep the wheels of the monarchy turning smoothly. As Charles's health began to show signs of improvement, he gradually resumed some of his duties, remaining under medical supervision, with his engagements carefully planned to ensure his recovery was not compromised. The palace announced that Charles's treatment would continue, but that he felt positive about his progress and was eager to gradually return to his public role. Throughout this period, Anne continued to support her brother, stepping in whenever needed, while keeping a close watch on his well-being. Breaking her silence, Princess Anne shocked everyone by declaring it was time to reveal everything, suggesting that Camilla had shown her true colors when Charles needed support the most, and hinting that she may not be suited to be queen. The announcement was emotional, with Charles visibly moved, tears in his eyes as he acknowledged Anne's age and her quiet endurance over the years. Camilla, for her part, appeared visibly shocked, trying to process this sudden shift. Some sources even went as far as to say that all of this culminated in a recent, surprising decision by King Charles, who is rumored to have named his sister, Princess Anne, as the new queen. Other sources suggest that Charles's decision stems from a deep sense of trust in Anne. Throughout his reign and life, she has been his unwavering support, demonstrating a resilience and work ethic he believes can lead the monarchy through modern challenges. For him, and embodies the strength and dedication necessary to move the royal family forward, even amid mounting pressures. Sources state that Anne is more than willing to take on the role and wear the crown. For years, she has been known for putting others before herself, devoting her life tirelessly to her royal duties without ever seeking the spotlight. Yet, at this pivotal moment, she has chosen to step forward, showing her desire to serve not only behind the scenes but also as a figurehead. It's no secret that Anne's relationship with Camilla has been strained, and this new role could be Anne's way of firmly standing by her brother, believing she could do so more effectively than Camilla. What do you think of this decision? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to our channel for more content.